At a glitzy ceremony at Buckingham Palace in the summer of 2013, Queen Elizabeth II honoured 5 pioneers of computer networking. Among them was a Frenchman called Louis Pouzin. In the early 1970s, Mr. Pouzin created an innovative computer network called Cyclade, whose simplicity and efficiency pointed the way to the internet we know today. Cyclade, built in France, was a European competitor to the ARPANET, an American computer network which Mr. Pouzin thought expensive and over-designed.
Well, initially, ARPANET was designed as the network of the world.
ARPANET required a path across the network a bit like a telephone circuit to be created for each communication between 2 computers.
They had to wait for an acknowledgement before sending the next one, so it was really primitive. I got on the phone. They wanted somebody to develop a computer network in France like ARPANET.
Mr. Pouzin proposed instead that each of the packets of data which made up a single communication should be labelled and delivered as individual messages, called datagrams. On ARPANET, strings of packets travelled in strict order like carriages in a train. On Cyclade, packets were individual cars, each of which could travel independently to its destination.
The term datagrams means that it has no predetermined connection between the partners. Between sender and receiver, there is no agreement.
This connectionless packet switching reduced the need for sophisticated and costly equipment to establish predetermined routes for the packets to take. It promised a network that could connect not just dozens of machines, but millions of them.
At the end of 1972, we made a demo for the ministries, and I also published the first paper on Cyclade in a conference in Florida. That's where I met a few of the people who were already working on ARPANET.
Concepts from Cyclade found their way into the suite of protocols on which the modern internet now runs.
So when they designed TCP, which was in 1974, it was after we had made Cyclade. They came to visit us. Bob Kahn and Vint Cerf came to Iria. We discussed about the whole day about the way we were doing things. They asked a lot of questions, and apparently they were convinced that it was a better design.
In the late 1970s, France's government withdrew its funding for Cyclade and disbanded Mr. Pouzin's team. It chose to back a less daring network designed by Europe's state-run telecoms operators, which was based on the circuit switching technology already used to carry phone calls.
So it looked like datagram had not any future. But fortunately, Bob Kahn and Vint Cerf used them. So it survived. The protocol was not exactly the one I had designed, but it was still datagrams.
In the years that followed, Mr. Pouzin watched as the internet, led by American academics, swept across the world, eventually vindicating him and his work.
We had a relatively short-term vision of what was going to happen afterwards. We didn't think much of commerce, of buying, selling, gaming, for example. We had no idea about gaming. So we had very little vision about the application, what would come out of that.
Mr. Pouzin's flat in Paris is full of relics from his half-century working in computer science.
So we see it's a museum here. Scrib. S-C-R-I-B. And this is the Minitel. Like all wine, all bottles always come with dust in it. This is a slide rule. I used it when I was passing the exams. They thought that perhaps I had some secret things inside, but there was nothing.
Another curio now joins Mr. Pouzin's collection of computers.
Well, it was given to me by Queen of England, Elizabeth II. Unless you're a singer or a football player, you don't have to expect much recognition from the ordinary people.
The Economist.